Down, my loves. Questions. Have you ever tried to avoid a problem and you just end up making it worse? By the way, if you hear noise, it's my kids. They don't listen when I tell them to get out the room. Anyways, so that's what happened to me. In 2015, I gave birth to my first son, Kai, which I almost died giving birth to him. And on top of that, I had a deadbeat baby daddy. So, since I didn't want to put that song on replay, la tiendita de dulce had to close. So, afterwards, after I decided that la tiendita de dulce had to close, I decided to take an appointment out with my doctor and, look at some birth control options and see what was the best for me. At the time, I chose Nexplanon. Mind you, I am still so traumatized. I was so traumatized about the events that occurred and that I got something to show you. Wait. My wallet. My very old wallet. Where is it? I don't know where I put it. Me eché el cuerito para atrás de la uña, puñeta. So I still have this shit because I pledged that I will never forget the day that I almost died and that I would never put something like this in my body, that I'm gonna have to wholeheartedly depend on the pull-up game. Okay, for some of y'all who don't know what Nexplanon is, it's basically like this little tube that is about 1 inch that goes in your arm, and if I'm not mistaken, is hormonal, and it just releases hormones in your bloodstream. Mine was about like 68 milligrams of a dosage, and it went to my left. What the fuck was that? It went in my left arm, which I don't know. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you can see my little scarring there. Anyways, mind y'all, I only lasted with this for about a good week because I ignored all the symptoms that all the side effects that I had. So ladies, if you have this in your arm already or you're planning to have this, I don't know now because of all the Roe and Wade thing, our autonomies is up in the air right now. So just talk to your doctor if you experience side effects, any of these side effects that I'm going to talk about now. So like I said, I only lasted with Nexplanon for about a week. And the first side effect I had was so simple that it was the reason why I ignored it, because it's not like my life is just a ball of stress, was headaches. I started experiencing headaches and I was like, man, it could be just stress. The second symptom that I experienced was, what was it? It was the choking. Yes, choking. So I would go to sleep. At that time, just for the period that I had that in my arm, for some reason, I was staying at my mom's house that week. And I remember just going to sleep and laying down and then waking up in the middle of the night just coughing. And I was like coughing and I couldn't breathe. And I'm like kind of sure that I stopped breathing. Like something happened while I was sleeping that I stopped breathing and I'm choking now. So that was weird. I remember that vividly. But again, because of how I am, I dismissed it and I was like, you know what, maybe it's anxiety. Maybe it's just my anxiety acting up. Because at that time, I used to have really bad anxiety. It's very controlled now. Not saying that I don't get it, but controlled now. Now to the faithful day that I saw the light, or lack of. So now, mind you, okay, those symptoms I was having it, the headaches, the choking with my sleep, I think I started having those symptoms after like a 2 to 3 days after I inserted the Nexplanon. So on the 6th day, I kind of like felt my body weird enough that I was like, no, something is off. It's not me. It has to be this Nexplanon, because I'm kind of pretty in tune with my body, but I still, permiso, I'm still in tune enough with my body to know like when it comes from myself or when it's something that is from outside, if that makes any sense. So point is that I went and I ran to my freaking doctor with my mom. I remember my son was there too. And I was like, doctor, or the secretary, somebody, I don't remember who I talked to, but I was like, yo, I am feeling weird. I need this shit out of my body like yesterday. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that the doctor wasn't there and she was gonna be there the next day, something like that. So she was like, basically dismissed me and was like, oh, come back tomorrow, you're gonna be fine. And I'm like, okay. So I just remembered pulling up into the parking lot with my mom, and I opened the car door and I just touched my chest because I felt like my heart was gonna come out of my chest, and I was like, and it was the worst, weirdest pain, but like full on chest pains that I can compare that shit to giving birth. And I think giving birth was even worse, but it was around there, the pain scale. I just remember holding my chest and it hurt so bad, and I was like, oh my God. And I tried to make it to my mom's door, and as soon as I tried to put my hand on the doorknob, I collapsed on the floor because I couldn't. And I crawled to the living room floor, and I remember my mom was here and my son was in front of me, and I can just keep thinking like, I'm gonna have to relax and calm down, because if my son sees me overreacting, and not overreacting because the pain was really bad, it's just I didn't want to scare him. So I was like, I gotta calm down. So I just remember grabbing my chest and just fucking hitting the floor. Like, why the fuck I did that, I don't know. I was just trying to divert the pain. I don't know. So I am here fucking grabbing my chest and hitting the fucking floor like, oh my God, my heart. But I didn't say shit. I just hit the floor. And my mom is looking at me like, do you need an ambulance? I'm like, nah. I'm chilling here. I'm like, en confianza, cógete tu tiempo en lo que se me sale la sangre del corazón, se me salen por la nariz, se me salen por las tripas, se me salen las tripas del cuerpo, coge tu tiempo. So she was like, okay, we call the fucking paramedics. So it felt like forever until those motherfuckers came. I was dying. I was like, for Puerto Rico fucking paramedics to get there is gonna, you better walk into the fucking hospital. So point is, it took them a minute to get to the apartment, and they get there, and I see them unloading their stuff. They're like, here, let me put this here, give me that move. Point is that they were unloading their shit, and I knew instantly that something was wrong, because I saw how one of the paramedics came and put that pressure machine in my arm and put the little finger clip in my finger, and as he was squeezing that shit, like, I saw the look he gave to the other paramedic. And when you're the person that is supposed to be saving your life looks at the other dude like, you know you fucked up. I thought I was gonna die right there. I was like, nah, I gotta say goodbye to the world because I'm gonna die right here. But do you saw how that motherfucker look at the other motherfucker? That was what I was saying internally. But mind you, I was in pain. So he just looks at the other guy, and I was like, what happened? And he's like, we gotta get you to the ambulance now. And I was like, but what happened? And he's like, your heartbeat is at 240. 240.
Damn!
And I was like, I just remembered the rushing, the running, trying to get that little camilla, that little bed spring thing, and get me on it. And he, oh, you gotta start pushing like you're gonna poop. And I was like, mind you, I can be dying, but ew, like, nasty. So I was like, I don't wanna do that. What if I poop on myself or something? And he was like, you gotta do it. If you don't do it, your heart is gonna get tired from beating so fast, and you're gonna end up dying for real right here. I'm like, oh, I don't want to die. And mind you, for some reason, for a person that is so connected with the spirit world, that I've been connected with with spirits, the people that have passed away since I was young, for some fucking reason, I'm still like, I know there's something on the other side, but it still kind of freaks me out for me to go to the other side. Mind you, last night mismo, I had a whole anxiety attack. Permiso. I had a whole anxiety attack, like, Yesenia, you there going to sleep, you there sleeping, and at the moment you get some like random ass thoughts like, Yesenia, you know that you're alive now and you're gonna stop existing soon. I was like, what? Excuse me, my brain? You fucking sabotaging bitch. So you can't even trust your own mind. Point is, back to the story, that he was trying to tell me you gotta push, because apparently when you like push it contracts your heart veins and stuff, so the blood, something scientific, something doctorish that I cannot explain. A point is, it slows your heart rate. That's the point. So once I got in the ambulance, it finally fucking clicked to me, like, I'm gonna die, and my son is gonna be with my mother, the person who gave me about 50 to even a little bit more % of my childhood, teenage, adult trauma. I cannot let this shit go like that. And I fucking told the ambulance guy, I'm like, yo, you better do whatever the hell you gotta do, but you cannot let me die. Mind you, the other one is on the phone talking with the doctor to see what the fuck they gonna do with me. And the second paramedic comes to me like, we have to give you a medication, and this medication is gonna be through your vein, through IV. So basically your heart is gonna stop. We're gonna make your heart stop, and like kind of like giving a little reset, like a factory reset. Mind you, I'm here again, recalcar, I'm scared of fucking dying. So you telling me that you gotta kill me for like a couple minutes, and I'm not sure if I'm coming back or not. I don't know how I feel about that. So point is, I didn't have any more options. So he comes and he injects me with whatever the fuck he injected me with, because I don't even remember. And if he told me, I'm like, So he comes and injects me, and for a couple seconds, I just feel this heat coming from like the bottom of my feet and slowly making its way up. And I can feel myself losing consciousness, and I just whoop. But even though I was unconscious, I can hear everybody speaking. And in those moments that I was unconscious, you know how people say, oh my God, I see the light. Don't go to the light because you're going to die. I saw black. I don't know what that says about my spirit world, but I saw black. Nothing else. Avoid it. That's it. I just remember them doing like a third time. They did it for a total of 3 times. And the third time, I didn't even went down. I just stood there like, and they came back like that. It was like super quick. So I remember the paramedic was like, yo, we got to get you to the hospital like now, because we're going to have to do, which I assume, I would have thought that they had that little thing of the chest in the ambulance, but they didn't, I guess. I don't know if that shit hurts. If anybody has gotten that little, si alguien le ha dado esa cosita que hacen del corazón, déjame saber. Pues déjame saber si eso duele. Porque a mí me lo iban a hacer y no me lo hicieron. I'm gonna say now why. Pero como que yo siento que esa mierda duele. Yo no sé. Es como meter el dedo en un outlet, un tenedor en un outlet. Eso es lo que yo siento en mi mente, pero en el pecho. So point is that when we made our way to the entrance of the hospital, we went in, and as soon as those emergency room doors slid open and I saw the light of the emergency room, everything stopped. Like my heart went back to normal. So I'm like, yo, I was even pissed off with myself, with my own body, because I'm like, yo, you make a whole fucking fuss, a whole fucking show of me almost dying fucking died a couple times in the fucking ambulance. So for us to come to this fucking hospital now and you to stop with your shit. Now how's that gonna look to the fucking doctors? They're gonna think I was making this shit up because now you okay. There's no signs that I have like a heart shape, right? So point is, the ambulance said what happened. I was left in a room that was specifically for heart patients. They were telling me like, you know, you gotta rest and this and that, the third. And I was like, no, because I feel like if I close my eyes, I ain't gonna open them again. And I ain't ready for that. I was like, where's my son? And they were like, we gotta medicate this bitch. She's bad in the head. So they gave me some medication. I fell asleep, and after my stay in the hospital, I went directly to the doctor that put the damn Nexplanon on in my fucking arm. I was like, yo, I almost died because your ass wasn't here yesterday. I need you to take this shit out now. And I remember them putting some disinfectant, some numbing, injecting medicine shit to take that shit out. And we were there for a couple, like I think for like an hour or an hour and a half or something, because it had migrated and moved out of the original spot that it was in first. And she had the balls to tell me after I almost died, let me know if I have to expose that fucking doctor. You know, am I entitled to a check like Johnson & Johnson? Huh? So point is that she really told me like, I don't think I can take it out. You're going to have to stay with this for a couple more days. So you got to go to San Juan. Because mind you, the whole island of Puerto Rico shares one major hospital in San Juan. So I lived in Ponce, which is in the south. San Juan is like in the northeast-ish, around there. And it takes about 2 hours, around 1.5, 2 hours to get there. Mind you, the whole island basically there. And you can imagine the waiting time and shit. So I was like, no, we ain't doing that. You won't take this shit out now. I don't care if you gotta open my fucking arm from here to here, dig inside and touch a bone, but you won't take that shit out and it's gonna be no. I ain't going back with this shit and dying. No. So I convinced her. I begged and pleaded. She took that shit out. And from that day on, let me take this shit. From that day on, this was on March 1st. Of 2017, and I was supposed to get the 3-year removal thing in 2020, something like that. I vowed that I would never use another form of birth control again in my life, and that explains my second son. But that's a story for next time, for another day. That's another story for another video. So I hope that you guys learned something from my fucking mistakes. Even though it wasn't my mistake because I didn't have no fucking control of this. But you take the time to read the fucking side effects. To ask your doctor about the side effects. And even though the doctors may recommend shit to you, only you know your body at the end of the day. And that's what happened to me. I went and listened to the doctor and their recommendations. And I didn't listen to my own body. I ignored it several times. So read the labels. If you're feeling these type of side effects, go talk to your doctor. Be aware of the shit you put in your body, because if not, you're gonna end up fucked up. And that's all. I hope you guys like this video. I don't know what there is to like, because that says something about you guys. How will you guys like me dying? Like, that's fucked up. But anyways, I hope you guys found this video entertaining. If you guys ever had a near-death experience, leave it in the comments. I really want to know you guys' near-death experience because it's kind of, you know, trippy, you know? I don't know. I'm mixed up. But see you guys in the next video. I don't know what the next video is going to be about. It's always very random. See you next time.